Hi there, crafty friends. Irene here with Artemis Made, and I'm so glad you're here with me today to make a card I didn't know I was going to make with items I had never seen before for a challenge I wasn't sure I was going to be able to fit in time. So this is kind of an adventurous card for me a little bit. But first, I do have a huge announcement, and I get into it at around the 6:50 mark if you want to skip ahead. Otherwise, let's get into the card. So basically, this was part of the Kendra's Card Challenge, kind of like a Christmas exchange, if you would, where you exchange a packet of goodies with another crafter in the group, and then you receive a package in return from another crafter. So you can see here she sent me a beautiful stamp set, some papers, some ephemera, like stickers and things, and it's got a decided beachy vibe to it. And I'm digging that because there's snow on the ground right now, so I could love me some sunshine, that's for sure. Now that blue wavy one was definitely my favorite, but these are all really, really pretty, and I am just completely digging this beach vibe. They kind of have, there's someone there you see in the back with surfboards and some waves and some like palm trees and things like that. So I was trying to figure out here, what did I want to do? And I said, well, if I have a beach stamp set, maybe I need some sand to go with it. So I decided to pull out the sandy paper pattern paper. Oh my goodness. And I decided that I was going to use that to represent the actual beach itself. Now, I really, really love these layering stamp sets from Hero Arts because you start with a base layer and then you build up color and then you end up with that really pretty image at the end there. So I'm really excited to use those three stamps and see what else wherever this adventure takes me. It's going to be beachy keen. Haha, okay, that's terrible. I'm sorry. Moving on. So here I am using my waffle flower grip mat, and I'm going to stick down my Nina Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. And I decided that if I have a beach, I kind of want to see it on a sunset. I want to see the horizon. So I have a very crisp horizon coming up, and I decided to make that warm sunset colors. So first I'm going to put down my mint tape here, and you'll notice I'm using the larger size because I'm kind of gauging where would be the right place to put it to be able to leave room for the pattern paper for the sand, make some sunset, and also have some of that beach, or the water I should say. So here I am basically doing the sunset, and I am putting the sun down first, and I'm using the really bright mustard seed distress oxide. I really like this color a lot. It's a good all-purpose yellow. And then I'm going to go in with my favorite color, orange. In this particular shade, it's carved pumpkin. And then I'm following it up with some candied apple to show those darker tones out beyond the horizon, like way out there. So this is my version of a beautiful beachy sunset. Now you can see here it's a little rough right now. It's definitely a lot of lines showing. It's just not quite blending perfectly yet. So what I'm going to do is just keep going back and forth, add more yellow, add more orange, keep blurring those lines until you get a beautiful blend. Now you can see there I've got where I dabbed off my ink. It's onto my Glassboard Studio glass work mat, and I can dab right onto that, and then I can pick up the ink continually from that spot. Super handy surface. And there is my crisp, crisp horizon. Love it. Now I'm going to grab my Misty. This is the Rose Gold Misty, exclusively I believe at scrapbook.com right now. I'm going to stick down, because there's again a waffle flower grip mat inside the Misty. So I stick down my cardstock here, and I grab that first layer of the ocean. This is going to be the biggest layer. Now here I kind of did something goofy. This is the first time using the stamp, and I didn't prime it first. I meant to, completely forgot, so you'll see why this was a problem for me. So first I start with some tumbled glass because you want to start with your lightest color. So I'm going to start with my light blue shade. So I stick it down, pull it up, and I see some white spots. And I think, okay, I just didn't do it right the first time. Let me just get some more ink down. So I say, here we go, hit it again. Time number 2, tumbled glass. Use my pressure tool, open it back up. There's still some white spots. Now I did it a couple more times off screen until I realized, wait a minute, I never primed the stamp. What if there's got little boogies on it? So look at that, it did. So once I realized that and I took those little boogies off of there, then I stamped it down again. No goobers on my stamps this time. Now it actually looks how it's supposed to look. My goodness, you'd think I would have learned by now, but no, it took about 4 or 5 tries to get to that. So here we go, second time now with a different stamp. This time I learned my lesson and I primed it properly. So I'm going to put Salty Ocean down. There we go. Almost made the same mistake, but fixed it. So I prime my stamp, and then I put down my ink onto the stamp, and I'm going to close the door and add that second layer of blue. And now you can start to see the waves building up. So I use my pressure tool, and look at that. Isn't that pretty? Now I know that there's some white space to the sides of that. It's totally fine. We're going to cut down this panel anyway. So I did 2 layers of this salty ocean color, and then I'm going to bring in my third color. And this one is going to be the darkest of the 3 shades. So I stick it in place, and this one is Distress Oxide Chipped Sapphire. It's a really pretty blue. So I'm going to get my ink down, and I did prime that one too. I might have done it off camera, but I did do it. So here we're going to get that color down, and I'm going to hit it one more time with a little bit more. And you can see that kind of twisting motion. I tend to do that when I am stamping images with my Distress Oxides. It just tends to work better because otherwise they're excellent for blending, but you might need a few extra layers if you were using an image. Now, I'm pointing out the white space, but also the fact that my third layer was a little bit off. So here I'm going to grab my infinity dies, my rectangle dies from Hero Arts, and I cut down the rectangle. So there we go. It's all good off the sides. All those excess are gone. Now here I kind of made a mistake. I ran it through my die cutting machine twice, and I made a little goof here, but we will see it later. Now here I am fussy cutting my ocean and my sunrise, and I feel like when I do this, I hear the Mario song whenever he, has a star that do. That's what I hear. Do you hear music when you're crafting? I don't know, maybe it's just me. So now I'm gonna cut up my edges here, not cut up my edges, I'm going to ink up my edges just to kind of cover that white cardstock. Although, white foam in the ocean is perfectly normal, so that's not a bad thing. So now I'm going to show you where I fix my little oopsie when I die cut my sunset panel. I'm just going to trim down those little bit of uneven edges there. I'm going to do it twice, just very thin slivers of paper, and it leaves behind some white cardstock. So to cover that white cardstock, I'm just going to grab that top color that I used, the candied apple, and I'm going to run my cardstock edge right across the stamp, or right across the ink surface. It covers it up and no one will be the wiser. Now, while past Irene cuts down her sandy beach layer, present Irene is going to tell you something really exciting. So Nancy and Tracy from the Foiling Snobs Club have invited me to be a guest on Stamp Wars. I'm so excited. It's such an honor. I cannot wait to play with the products that are currently sitting on my desk in a sealed package. We are not to know what products we are using until the night of the show. Oh, I'm a little nervous, but I could really use your support. If you want to pop over to the channel on Saturday, December 9th at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. It's on the Nancy Stamps YouTube channel, and it would mean so much to me to have you there rooting for me while I do my first live crafting. Oh, I'm scared, but in the best possible way. And please do check out Nancy Stamps and Tracy Schultz. They make excellent videos. Okay, thank you, and back to our project. So here you see I'm kind of testing it out. I'm putting my sunset and my ocean over the beach to make sure I like that setup. And then I'm going to use my Nina Solar White, Classic Crest Solar White, 110-pound card base. And I'm going to leave a margin there because I kind of want to have a nice border. I don't know, I just really like a white margin for some reason. Especially when it's thicker too. For some reason, I think it just really frames it nicely. So here I'm going to use my Barely Art liquid glue, and I'm just going to put the ocean and sunset layer down flat. And look how nice that looks with that beach. It looks like it just transitions right into it. And the very edge of the ocean has the slightest shadow, so it just really looks perfect on that beachy paper. So now I'm going to kind of audition a few things here, see how I feel about a couple of the seashells. I tried a couple different sentiments, but I landed on my hello sentiment. I just really like the idea of writing in the sand and how it shows that darker, almost that watery sand color, because it's there. I am priming again. You notice I still learned. So yeah, I'm going to use some vintage photo, and this is going to be that like wet sand look. It's as if I just took my finger and carved out hello with a big exclamation point right in the sand. And I really like this particular sentiment because it's not just hello, it's got some kind of scratchy looking edges as if I missed a spot in a couple places when I was writing it with my finger, and it just looks really organic. And I think that's something that I just really enjoyed. Now here I'm using a trick I learned a few years back from Natasha Foote. I will link her below as well. She makes awesome videos. And this is how you can adhere your card front and get it straight while using double-sided adhesive without worrying about it going wonky on you. So you just kind of pull some tabs basically off of your adhesive and then stick it down. So Natasha goes into that a lot more, so I'll leave it to her, but it's an excellent tip. Now here I was kind of playing around seeing which seashell I wanted to use, and I just decided I really wanted to go with this one here. So I'm going to grab my reverse tweezers so I can make sure the placement is where I want it. And I like it popping off of that card front a little bit. It's kind of like it bleeds off the edge and into the white base, into the margin area. I just really like that look. I think it kind of ties it together really well. Now I considered doing some bling, some additional bling, if you will, on this card because the seashell already has some bling on it. And I was going to do some sequins or something, but then I decided, no, I'm going to let the seashell be the sparkle in this card. And I'm going to take a real big risk here and hand draw some birds in the sky. Now, this is probably like the kind of drawing a toddler would do, but in fairness, I have been doing birds like that since I probably was a toddler. So this is how much my art has advanced. It hasn't. It's exactly the same thing. But you know, I think if you look at it off in the distance, it looks avian enough. You know, they look birdy, I guess, right? Floating there in the distance. It works. So here's the finished project. I was really happy to do this, and it was nice to play with products I hadn't seen before and did not know what to expect. So I think it is good preparation for Stamp Wars, again, December 9th on the Nancy Stamps YouTube channel. Please come check it out. It's going to be so much fun, and it just would mean the world to me to have you there. And to that point, thank you for being here, and welcome to all the new subscribers. Your support means everything. Now, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you grab some paper and craft something that really makes you smile. Take care. Thanks again. Bye.